So the last thing I'm going to get done with him before we put him out, and I've done this once on each foot, so I'll probably only kind of show you one front foot and one hind foot, is I'm going to get a rope around his foot just pretty much the same way that I would do it with an adult horse, just like everything else. The main difference here is we're doing this small pen, and I'm doing it with this big, soft, super old, worn out yacht rope, and it's just kind of got a ring braided into an eye, so it won't ever put any kind of rough pressure on his soft little skin. And what I want to do at first is, I'll do this front foot first. I want to be able to get him leading around by a front foot, and I want to teach him how to stop by a hind foot. And then when that's working, I'll start to pick those feet up with the rope. And it's really important that I do this at a distance first, and that I don't just go up and start grabbing at him and trying to get his feet off the ground, because he's probably going to have to do some articulation of his legs and maybe some hopping and some, figuring out what's possible to move, how he can move with that foot being affected by my rope. And if I put my body super close to his, both of us are going to do things to protect ourselves when things start moving a way we didn't expect. But with a rope, we can both kind of keep ourselves out of trouble and really just isolate the foot. I don't know what he's looking at. Oh, there's a fly. There's a Christmas fly.
I'm so sorry that you have a Christmas fly.
So just like everything else, I'm going to show him that I can kind of drive him around with this loop of this rope. And say, can you just go over here? Good. And it's going to be really useful that we can cause some movement, because I'm not going to be able to pick his foot up and put this on, just like if he was a Mustang. But I can kind of hang this out in front of that front foot and then see if I can get him to move. Can you move? And it might take me a few tries to catch it. There, okay, never mind. I'm just going to kind of let that hang until he can get settled. Very good. Lots of petting to reassure him if he was looking worried, but he's not really. So now I'm going to let that kind of shake down to his fetlock. And just like an adult horse, this is exactly the same thing I'd be doing. I have to put enough slack in my lead rope there that I want to see that he's leading off of this and not that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of feel in this. And if he makes arrangements to take his weight off of that foot, like that, I'll release. If he makes arrangements to move his other 4 feet, I'll release. Because the thing about this is, I'm not just trying to pick this foot up. I want it to affect the whole body. And this might save his life one day. And we've seen this work, with many horses, many times. In fact, our big black mare, Juno, when we first got her, I didn't know about this stuff. And she got caught up in a wire fence, and she pulled that wire off of, 4 or 5 fence posts, and was just got a big nasty cut on the back of her fetlock, which is exactly what a horse is normally going to do when they feel this pressure on the back of that foot. They should have the exact same response that you or I would have if I was walking through a body of water and I felt something wrap around my ankle. I should go, ugh, and try to get away from it. Well, they're going to do the same thing. And then after I learned about this stuff, I went back and went over that with Juno and got her to where she could lead around by a front foot really, really smooth. Maybe 6 months later, she got cast in a fence, and we only noticed because it seemed kind of odd that she'd been standing in the same corner of the pen for like all day. And we went over there, and sure enough, she was stuck through the fence, but she had just learned how to give to that feel, and kind of got the idea that if she didn't fight it, probably somebody would come along and help her. Very good. Very good. This is only the second time I've done this on this foot, but the first time he did strike at it like maybe 2 times, and it did kind of startle him a little bit the first time when he kind of gave. So there I released for his other 4 feet moving. That's leading, not just trying to get 1 foot to move, the whole horse. The first time he kind of let me lead it out in front of him like that, he thought he was going to fall over, so he wasn't sure. There, good. There's all 4 feet. Very good. And this is also going to be a big help for him when we start putting that front foot forwards on a farrier stand in not too long. That he's just had something under his chin that he didn't know what it was, but that it didn't hurt him. So there he's a little bit splayed out, so I'm going to see if he can sort that out. Remove the front. He's got to figure out how to move those hind feet too. There, good. Okay, so I'm going to lead him over here with the lead rope, just because I want to move him to where you can see me start picking that foot up. Good boy. And I'm going to do this like I haven't done it before. And it would be the same thing on an adult horse where I first start to pick this foot up with the rope. I'm going to face towards the front of the horse. And the reason for that is if he got worried about this kind of coming up in here by his sensitive flank, and obviously I've done all this preparation for good reason for this, but if he were to cow kick at it with a hind leg, and he's probably not going to miss, he's probably not going to hit that rope, but he might get to me. At least if he kicks me in the back of the knee here, my knee bends that way and he won't just take my kneecap off. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on this rope. And if he shifts his weight like that, I'll release. And there he did it again. Good. Because at first, I just have to release for him having a good thought about moving that foot in a way that will make it possible for it to come off the ground. And horses in nature rest a hind leg, and they stand on 3 legs behind, but they never pick up a front leg and hold it. So this would be a totally new foreign feeling for a horse. Good. Okay, there he got really nice big bend in the knee. So the next time that happens, I might see if I can hold it at the top for a moment. And he says, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to hang in here and see if he can make it. When he softens just for a moment like that, I'll give it back. But you can see if I was holding on to that with my fingers, well, I would have probably gotten tight because there was a lot of horse moving around right next to my head. He would have gotten tight because there was a human hanging on to him while he was trying to get his balance. And it was just a lot easier for both of us to make it because of the rope. So now here I change my angle towards his hind. And same thing again, I'm going to cozy up to him and I'm going to take a little feel of that rope. Very good. High. There he shifted his weight, so I did a little release, but I came back with a little more. Very good. There. So that was a little more sure. And he was able to put that foot back down on the sole really smooth. Okay, I'll do it again. And I'm leaning into him just a little bit so that he can feel me. There I released for a little shift. There he took his foot off the ground really nice. So now while he's still winning, I'm going to take it with my hand. I'm just going to slip this rope off. Adorable. I'll put it back down as soft as I can. Hi, is that funny? So that was pretty easy, and that's about how it should go. I mean, like I said, that's only a second lesson on that, and it shouldn't be much harder. I'm going to grab my hoof pick now. I'm going to pick that foot out. So now coming back in without the rope, I'm going to pet him on the shoulder, let him know I'm coming. I'm going to come all the way down this front leg, and I'm going to kind of lean into him with my shoulder and help him shift his weight. And then when he gets his weight off of that, I'm just going to let that knee bend. I'll guide that hoof up. High. He can use his lips, but not his teeth. I'll just pick his foot out like he's any old horse. I'll put it back down as smooth as I can. Very good. All right, that wasn't too bad. I'll send him over here. I'm going to do his other front foot. I'm just going to pick it up with my hand because he was pretty good about it yesterday. Step to the hip. There's the hind. I'll reach down this front leg. I'll lean into him a little bit, help him shift his weight. Very soft. Very good. And it's never really too soon when they're feeling kind of comfy like this for me to start crouching down a little bit, or, you know, like I lost my hoof pick there and it didn't startle him. I might start to rub on his leg with both hands, maybe kind of slap on the bottom of his foot. He said, oh, that was a weird sound. And well, here he's a little bit unsure. I've held his leg up for longer than he's had it. I'll just hang with him until he softens. Put it back down. If he gets just a little lesson like that every few days for the next 6 months, his first trim should be a breeze.